All right, well, there's a like, but no viewers, so I'm assuming that's wrong. Okay, that's so weird. It says there's, I don't know what happened. Like when I went onto my channel, the thing for like the waiting thing wasn't there anymore. So, um, I had to make a new one. I'm gonna comment in the one where it says people are waiting and say I had to make a new one. Uh, um, if you're here waiting, if you are waiting, here. Da-doo boop, ba-doo boop boop. Okay, so let's see if I can find the one that I just made. I guess I'll go in here. I think I saw Monica. There's my live. It says there's people there. Okay, hello. Um, let's see. Hi, Monica. How are you? I fell asleep. I laid down at like 8 to do like a 30-minute meditation, and I fell asleep until, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, which is all I seem to do lately. But, you know, it's better than being awake sometimes. How are you doing? I know you probably feel the same. The energy has been kind of like tired, just tired, extra tired, extra tired. All I do is sleep. Hello, I know, you're gonna have to stay down there. And I did, I was supposed to go live on the other channel last week, so I didn't get a chance to do that, but I did have a question that I told I told Lisa that I would answer, so I'm gonna do Lisa off the fly here, because that's the one that I have already coming in. So I'm gonna do Lisa's question first, and then anybody else who comes in that's a member and can comment. I know if you're not a member, I don't think it lets you comment, but if you are a member, you can comment your question. The members, it's this every month we go live and they can ask their questions for their readings. And Lisa was asking about healing, mission, career, purpose, and that type of stuff. So just gonna see what comes through. She's usually kind of like open to whatever guidance comes in. So I got the Three of Swords, and I know personally, like right now, that's probably something that has been, you know, an issue for Lisa and others. And again, when people come into these, a lot of times there is similar themes happening. If we're hurting, if we're feeling pain, if we're feeling sad, if we're feeling grief, if we're feeling resentment, anger, anything that causes our emotional regulation to not be the best, that requires us to shift, you know, our mindset and our beliefs and our way of thinking. You know, like I'm not gonna be like this forever. You know, I'm not gonna be feeling this way forever. Eventually my cups can fill up again. I may be feeling sad, I may be feeling like I'm missing out on something right now. I may feel, you know, pain. I may feel like what's the point? But slowly over time, when we are committed to ourselves and committed to our spiritual progress and our learning of these lessons that we go through as humans on this planet, who are having a human experience, and we face our fears, and we recognize that like what we put into the things around us is what we're going to get back. And Sometimes what we put in, we don't get back, but then we have to be the one that's like, okay, well, if I'm not getting back what I'm putting into this, then I'm going to stop putting into this because it's not getting me anywhere. It's not going to be that new start. It's not going to be that balance. It's not going to be that hopeful, like positive experience until I start to find the right, partnerships or the right opportunities, the right career, the right things that I pair myself next to. Or if I stay in my depression and my sadness and close myself off and keep allowing these things that are happening around me that are not feeling good, that keep ending in painful ways, that's going to keep repeating. So I will eventually, balance out when I start to move into that place of my victory, when I start moving into that place of taking action, communicating, traveling, and knowing that like I deserve emotional happiness. I deserve people who are with integrity, and I have the strength that is necessary to get myself into a position that feels abundant and grounded and stable and loyal and committed, and I get that back from those that are around me. So I'm going to start planting those seeds of potential, getting creative in how I'm going to do it, and then asking myself, like, what is it that I want to do? Where is it that I want to be? What is it that I would like to have? And where do I want to put my effort, my time, my energy, my essence, so that I can become abundant and powerful and not feel left out in the cold, or not feel like I'm wasting all of this time working on something that isn't getting me anywhere, especially when we work in jobs where we don't where we're not the boss, so we're not the one that's like in control of everything. We're the one that like is helping someone else with their stuff. It doesn't always have that like emotional charge or that energetic, yay, this is exactly where I want to be, or this is exactly what, intuitively I feel like I've been guided to do. So I know Lisa specifically has like a creative gift, and she is somebody that learned a lot about design and art and things like that. And that's just a natural instinct for many of us anyways. Like when we were kids, we played, but as we got older, we get all these burdens and we get all these things like, oh, bills and money and stress and people, and just our lives can come into play. And that's like we're juggling all this extra stuff. So things like our creativity, things like our passion, our desire, our drive, may get put to the wayside, but we can have like a death and a rebirth, be that phoenix rising out of the ashes when we allow ourselves to go towards those things that charge us energetically, that charge us, that make us feel like this is bright, this is beautiful, this is what I would like to do. But we can get caught in cycles or places that don't emotionally fulfill us, and then it gets hard to start a new thing that does feel positive, or even attract other things that feel positively aligned in that way, because we become that wounded person. So when we're wounded and we're feeling sad and we're feeling like, oh, this isn't good, and we have that broken heart or that broken, part of us that's dragging us down, it can be, a little difficult. But if we can tap back into the inner child and remember, like, what were those things that made us feel alive? What was that part of us that didn't drag on and drag on? Like, what was it that we loved to do? So it's like the years will pass, and you will last. And this is the stamina. So it's like you've got the stamina to stay where you are, but your dreams will reveal what is true and who is real. So it's like you can choose, but don't let the ego pursuits of this world keep you stuck, or to keep you in a place of like, let me just keep being here in this thing that's not fulfilling for me. Where whatever it is, however it manifests, love, partnerships, loving partnerships within our work, loving partnerships within our family, loving partnerships with everything. And it's like, do you not see you're already free? So you have the freedom to make the decision whenever you want. You can wait and wait and wait, and you can self-sabotage and sacrifice and, keep making the choice to stay and, not maybe uplift yourself so much, and instead uplift other people, where it's like, that independence, that single, sexy, confident, independent, 9 of Cup, 9 of Pentacle happiness can be yours, but you've got to choose when you're going to take that, ending of where you've been, so the new beginning can manifest. And this is the year it can all be clear, when you recognize that freedom and when you choose yourself. So taking that power back from whoever has that power, and also igniting that passion inside of yourself to be like, oh, I like to do this, or I like to design, or I like to create, or I'd like to do whatever it is that I would like to do that isn't going to cause me a bunch of conflict, that isn't going to cause me a bunch of chaos. It's just going to be emotionally fulfilling, and it's going to have the right people. And then that's when we shift our timeline into wholeness and completion. And that's when, with that confusion that we have, starts to clear up too, because when we start to look around, all we want will be found, and we have a better foundation that's more abundant. And when we create and inspire, we set our life on fire as that artist. So I feel like, they're like, create, do create and approach logic creatively. So obviously, logically, you don't want to just quit your job and run away and not have anything set up, but you can make it fast or slow on that transition when you start to, make those changes necessary for you to be that star, to rise out of the ashes, to rise to emotional fulfillment, to rise out of the illusion of like, I've got to stay where I am, or I got to keep doing this thing that I hate, or, life is just going to suck. Well, time for a change if life sucks, right? Like, if we're not happy, we're not getting what we want where we are, we have to be the one that chooses that. And with the gratitude, it's like when we start focusing on what we're grateful for, even if it's a basic, like, I'm just grateful that I have food, or I'm just grateful that I can, that I can design, or that I'm grateful that I can go to work every day, or that, that I have learned the lessons that I've learned through my subconscious, blocks. And you've done a lot of work awakening, you've done a lot of work healing. And tomorrow is another day. You get to decide, like, am I going to remain in this confusion, or am I going to open up that book and start looking for where I can shift? Where can I change my beliefs? Where can I change my attitude? Where can I be more receptive for the things that are going to align in divine time? So that when I shift that focus in, like, the pursuit around me, those opportunities start knocking on my doors, and I start having, like, that shift. Because it's like we're living in a world now where it's like there's so many things that we can do, especially with like what like with the designing and creating and like digital stuff like that. Like, that's what everybody seems to be like finding success with. So it's like you can keep waiting, or you can keep, like, go look into that. And I don't know if it's set up at your work that you can, like, listen to certain things while you're working. But if you could, I feel like maybe if you listen to something that helps you to figure out, like, how can I put my skills to the test? How can I start using these things to make me emotionally fulfilled in my life? And just, like, approach it with both ways. Like, okay, like, I want to feel better, so I'm going to work on my mindset. I want to do better with my work, my creativity. I want to, make something with my gifts, with my creativity. And they're like, a year from today you'll be on your way. But if you don't choose to grow, another decade will come by and go, and you'll just still be in that same spot. So basically, they're saying you got to make those choices now to look for the right way to make that foundation beneath you, so that you can make that change into that rise and be that person that you would like to be, living, in alignment with what it is you want to do. But you've got to face the fear of it too, because I feel like we all have that fear of, like, what if I suck? What if I can't do it? What if I don't know the right thing, or whatever? And it's like, none of us know all of the answers, until we start doing it. We figure out what works and what doesn't work. And even when we figure that out, sometimes we still do what doesn't work, because we may not believe we're good enough, or we may be, like, self-sabotaging. But if you do what sparks you and feels good and makes you happy, it's much better than this. Even if you just do it on the side, it's like that little break from the monotony, or that break from doing something that doesn't fulfill you. it can start to like spark something inside of you that's like gives you that oomph to keep doing more of it. Like when you get the recognition for something that you created that's beautiful, people like it, that's going to shine light on your life. That's going to be like that thing that's like, oh wow, emotional fulfillment. Oh wow, like people actually like this, and it makes it easier for you to walk away from the shit that doesn't feel good and to move into calmer waters, into more balanced creation. Even though it may be slow going, most people start with they start off with like a side gig, and then over a while they get better and better and better with the side gig, and then after that's over, they're finding those right partnerships in all the places, and they're able to leave the thing behind. So instead of saying never, or never taking that chance, or never taking that risk, get rid of those illusions that are keeping you in that same loop, and just keep working on yourself and trusting that things will align with divine time, and then be receptive for those changes, because if you don't change, then nothing will ever happen like that. So this is the year it'll all be clear. Just allow yourself that opportunity. I got my 7th, and I feel like with partnerships and everything too, there's been contracts that you've had. Virgo is the energy we're going into with this full moon, and this says charm, analyze, intuitive. So this is the energy of like getting logical, getting like specific about what it is that you don't want to bring with you, becoming very self-aware about what you want to get rid of, like so you could be disciplined, ambitious, and persistent. Then you can be reliable, grounded, and determined to shift your perspective in your life and become radiant. And it says every moment has a purpose and a beauty of its own, and you're about to see the light shine on the places that you've outgrown. So I feel like this has been happening for you, but you may have been kind of like so down about stuff that it was like you weren't allowing things to blossom. You weren't allowing yourself to see yourself be able to come into a season of expansion. So now when you get into that Virgo, analyzing, writing it down, being very creative in the way that you're going to approach this next chapter and become fertile with your self-expression, it's going to bring you to the right partnerships, not necessarily like a romantic partnership, but a partnership where it's healthy, where you can cut the cords from those other people in your life that haven't served you, and you can become fertile, heal those wounds from all that shit that's happened in your life, and make a lasting impression. And trust your loyalty, trust your intuition, trust your your ability to see through the facade of stuff. Like what's serving you and what's not serving you, so you just need to get honest with yourself about that and where you would like to make a lasting impression in your life. And then spread your wings and rise through the dark, stormy skies. See trust your inner knowing and see the sunrise. So you'll be able to see the light shine, and you'll be able to take clear action and go towards better days. But you've shed the outgrowing layers, like the things that just aren't serving you anymore. So let that light code of awakening break in and shift. The divine inspiration that you get hit with, like I'm sure you have moments where you think like, I could do that, or maybe I would be much happier doing XYZ, or maybe I should try that thing, or maybe I should do whatever the hell it is. Maybe it's new people, like even just going to like a place nearby you where there's like a community of people that get together, or some sort of thing that you'd be into, whether it's online or in like person, or it's some sort of like new thing that isn't the same old. What is it that you think about at night when you're just laying there? What is it that you've been debating about? Try to find the way to take those steps, and know that it's not a straight path. Sometimes it's going to be bumpy and curvy, and we still have lessons that get wrapped up within that shit, but you can get through that path even though it's not straight. But the second house, I have resources. So when you embrace this and you allow those light codes to come in and awaken you and shift the old paradigms, you will have more value on yourself, and you'll attract more abundance to yourself, and you'll allow for the divine to nurture you, and get out into nature more and allow nature to nurture you. Look for the patterns within the things that are happening in your life. Like where has the same old been playing out over and over? Maybe it doesn't look exactly the same, but it's usually a pattern that we don't recognize. So then when we recognize it, we could break those old things and create a new uncharted reality. So this says alternate reality. Like if you want an alternate reality, you've got to break those patterns that have been playing into the one that you've been in. And all is written in the stars, the scars of your heart, the perfect times to start coming near and apart. So just trust and know that when you're making those like decisions, and you become self-aware about those choices and you start putting that effort in, it does show up. Like when we pay attention to something, it's like the world, the universe is like, here you go. Like these past 2 weeks, I've seen something about crows like every day, and it's weird. Like I don't know if anybody knows Mr. Ballin, who does like scary stories on YouTube and Facebook and whatever. He does like the haunted things, or the people who've been like possessed, or people who died camping. I like 2 weeks ago I saw a thing about a crow, and this guy like fed the crows, and the crows brought him gifts, and then he like taught the crows how to bring him just straight cash. And then I showed my dad that day, and that day I also got a huge thing of peanuts for free, and I was like, felt like the universe was like, hey, use this. And then almost every day since then, I've seen something to do with the crows. And then like yesterday, it was Mr. Ballin telling a story about the crows, but it wasn't a scary story. It was a story about this little girl and this mom who taught the crows how to like bring them gifts. And like she was a photographer. She went out, took pictures, dropped the lens camera thing off her camera in the middle of the woods, and by the time she got home, the crow had already delivered it to her house in the bird bath and like washed it off for her and everything. And then today I saw a guy who like can call them. He's like, come, they all come. And then there was another one after that. And it's been like nonstop synchronicity. So it's like where our attention goes, our energy flows, and the universe delivers more and more. It could be something like that, and it's like that's an avenue to be like, hey, I could teach these birds to like bring me money, or to teach them to bring me whatever. Like one guy was the crow brought it like an antique thing that was worth money. But it's a theme, it was a theme that I kept seeing. And when we pay attention to things, we can bring more in to our reality. So try to be aware of where you focus, and pay attention to those signs too. Like, hey, here's some free peanuts, Bridget. Oh, look at all this information about the crows. If you just give the crows some food, they'll bring you money and they'll bring you gifts. And I'm like, okay. But if we don't pay attention to that or take action on it, then it won't happen. Okay, hello. Welcome. Hi, Bridget. I'm open to receiving what I need to hear at this very moment concerning my path in love, advice to bring in my true lifetime partner, and I'm single right now. Okay, hello. All right, so let's see what you need to hear at this very moment concerning path, love to bring in. All right. I got the Nine of Pentacles, which is that single, sexy, confident, independent energy. And then we got the Princess of Cups, which is like an apology energy, or it's just like a vulnerable, authentic offer from somebody. It doesn't necessarily have to be like apology, but I do see it as like an apology card. But I think what this is more so saying is like, the more that you own into your single, sexy, confident power, the more self-aware you are about your power, the more confident you are in who you are. In the next level of awakening and awareness, it says new levels of awareness are available to assist in your evolution. Do not shy away from a soul revolution. So as you become more self-aware, as you are exploring your religion, as you're exploring your beliefs, as you are becoming more powerful, independent, confident, sexy, the easier it's going to be for you to attract others who are going to be vulnerable, who are going to actually give you something worth having. Like, you know, maybe you've been waiting for a while on your own for your happily ever after, and you could feel like nothing's been manifesting, but you may have been blocking yourself in some way, or the universe could have been blocking you in some way because maybe you weren't emotionally healed at that time, or you weren't standing in your own power. So the only people you were going to attract were the ones that maybe weren't going to give you the best of themselves. Maybe like you needed to go through another level of awakening, which a lot of us have to do solo. And when we do, we face our beliefs about ourselves and we figure out how to be happy on our own. And that's when we attract the right partners into our life. Again, when we chase after what makes us feel inspired and what makes us feel clarity and healthy and happy, and we trust the universe, we start making the better decisions for ourselves, and that starts attracting a new beginning in all areas of our life. We can take that leap of faith and not get caught up in a karmic toxic shit show where it's like you're going to have to cut that person out, or you're going to have to, you know, deal with a bunch of fear and like low vibrational bullshit. So it's like the more spiritually aligned you've become, the more balanced you've become, the more aligned you've become to attract the right partnership into your life that's not going to end up in a bad Ten of Swords or less than what you deserve situation. So you're moving into calmer waters and you're leaving a bad emotional time behind. Even if it's just like that acceptance of I'm okay on my own, that in itself can be the thing that makes people aligned for their happily ever after. Because when we sit there thinking we need someone else to fulfill us, or we need something else to fulfill us, that's when we attract karmic toxic shit shows that we got to cut out. So I feel like you're going through the death process and moving into that place, and you've reflected enough, you've awoken enough, and you've healed enough to become the Empress. So I would just continue to focus on being the best version of yourself and doing what's right for you, and knowing that people are going to see that, and you're going to attract the right ones that are attracted to your light and your radiance, who are going to want to bring you the Four of Wands without the games. They're not going to be juggling you. They're not going to be bringing you burdens. They're not going to be playing bullshit things that end up bad. So Spirit may have balanced things for you as well, like energetically. They may be helping you to heal whatever things needed to be healed so that you could have the clarity in your life and have that new start that's valuable and comes from like a good decision within. I know you've also been changing up career-wise. So I feel like with that, that's like, you know, you have planted those seeds of potential to get towards your victory in that sense. You're no longer staying stuck where you had been for so long, where you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I don't know when or how or whatever. Well, now you've done it. Now you've taken that leap. You're interacting with the universe. Like you're working together with, you know, that part of yourself where you tore down that old reality. And so don't let yourself sabotage or get consumed into like the false thinking. Stay creative, stay inspired, and keep working towards your 10 of Pentacles, your ultimate fulfillment, knowing that like you're attracting the right person who's going to be destined to come in to deliver to you whatever it is that's going to be like a committed level in a divine choice, rather than like just a choice out of necessity or a choice out of loneliness or a choice out of something that like ends up like, you know, third parties and broken hearts and bullshit. Like this is when you can attract the true love and not the illusions, because you've emotionally healed and you're working with your inner child and you're working with your past lives and you're working with the wounds. You may be not getting apologies from people that hurt you or caused you to close off or feel wounded or whatever, but you may have worked through whatever it was that was keeping you stuck and found the path to like, you know, overcome that shit and overcome that darkness. And sometimes we're never going to get the apologies, or sometimes we're never going to get the answers from people. Some people cannot be in their integrity. Sometimes people cannot deliver their truth. And we may feel like we lost out on something, or we like are missing something because of that. But I think when we finally realize like that's a reflection of them rather than it is us, we come into that place of loving ourselves more and recognizing like who we are is who we are. We can't always get people to give back to us what we put out, but we can most definitely get that from the right person. that's going to make us happy in the end. And it may take us a while to find that person, and we may get, sidetracked by players or assholes or liars, manipulators. But if we, can just put that on hold and not act like we need anybody, or drop down into that level of accepting that, we will get the right people to eventually show up to take that leap of faith with, when we keep planting those seeds of potential for the valuable new start with somebody that's going to work together with us, energetically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, on all of those levels. So a phase of darkness will be helping you to see clearly. I feel like the darkness is ending. It's like that phase of darkness is over. The cycles of creation destructions are leading to destined divinity. You're going to have that sweet treat of ecstasy in the end. It wasn't a straight path, but you're getting to that place where the clarity is illuminating. You're cutting the cords from the past. You're cutting the cords from the people that may have, hurt you or just weren't the right ones for you. So now you're getting aligned to the right partnerships so that the right action and communication can happen. Your legacy can be built. Your manifestation, your fame, your tradition, your status will grow. And then the master manifesting of good or bad, regal strength from the dawn of time, is like we can create good or bad based off of what we focus on or who we allow in. So chaos or creation is like, it can be good or bad. It's just a matter of like what we focus on within it, and then shedding those outgrown layers, not letting our pride or our ego be like the main drive within stuff. And that's going to help us to get more abundance and more stability, more self-worth, more love of ourselves. So it looks like you're headed towards the right place. You've been healing. I don't know if you've done, I think you said you did past life stuff, and we're getting answers in regards to that. I feel like that's helping you to figure out like patterns, even if you don't consciously understand it or place it together. I think it still helps us to recognize like things that have maybe played out over and over from other lifetimes. So you're learning how to tap into your intuition. You're learning how to learn through those mysteries. You're learning how to balance the karma. You're learning how to explore the beliefs. You're learning how to rise through those darkness times and then get to the sweet treat at the end, and find the right resources. All right. So, hello. Yeah, so basically I would say for that question for Melissa, just keep focusing on yourself improving, and that's going to bring that person in. The more self-aware that you are about that, the better it will be for love to come manifest. And then Monica wants to know about work. Should I join this company full-time? I like the world and the people are good, but I don't do well under pressure. Okay. All right, so should she do this work? So I've got the King of Swords. The King of Swords is somebody that's like in their power to speak their truth. And then the Emperor is somebody that's in control of a situation. So I feel like you have a tendency to kind of do that, like, you'll find a job that you're like, I like this thing and I like that about it and I like this, but like there's something about it that like you don't like. And then I feel like that's going to be present with whatever we do, like especially if we've already had wounds, especially if we've already been through karmic situations that we didn't enjoy ourselves, or if we're guarding or blocking ourselves from our success, if we're creating chaos in our life out of just that belief system that's been set in stage, and all of those times where the tower fell. And I think that's something that's like a residue that gets left over for people like us who have been through trauma, people like us who have had toxic relationships, or people in our lives that weren't supporting us in the right way, that were like basically wanting us to have our downfall, that were trying to fuck with us or trying to cause so much in our life that we juggled that it was hard for us to move on into a better place, because maybe they were struggling, and misery likes company. But what that eventually does is make you stronger, and it makes you go through the death process, and it will give you the boundaries that you need to overcome the shit show. And, you know, people who've been through those traumas or been through those toxic relationships, you may say, like, I don't do well under pressure, but you're the best one for it because you're used to it, because you have had that clarity. You've been in that place. You should be able to shine under pressure because that's usually where you've always been, is under the pressure of, you know, toxic belief systems and toxic people and toxic circumstances. And I don't want to make you feel bad about it, but it makes you more resilient. It makes you more capable of dealing with stuff that other people may not be able to. And we can look at it, because I know, like, when people have come out of trauma, they'll say, like, oh, you know, dysregulates you and then you're all fucked up forever and blah, blah, blah. Only if you believe that. Only if you want to take that belief on and stay with that. Maybe it does dysregulate us. Maybe it does cause some problems long term. Maybe it did feel like shit. But we also learned lessons within that, and we also overcame a lot of things through it. So we can choose to go either way. We can choose to be a victim of it for the rest of our lives and live in like a little hole somewhere and never do nothing, never take any risks out of our anxiety and fear that, you know, maybe it gets difficult, maybe it gets hard. Or we could be the Empress, and we can listen to our intuition, see from it on the other side of it, and say, I'm going to have emotional fulfillment. I'm going to be abundant. I'm going to take all this shit that you did to me, and I'm going to turn it into something that's better than this. Because if I just choose that path, I'm just going to be there miserable, feeling sad as a victim for the rest of my life. Or I could be like, no, I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to spark this thing inside of me. I'm going to get creative in how I overcome this. And that's what's going to lead me to my 10 of Pentacles, my ultimate fulfillment, the healing of my inner child, empowering myself, seeing through those illusions, and attracting the right people and the right emotional fulfillment through the healing process that I go through. And I know Spirit's there with me, and you know Spirit's there with you. So when you're fertile and you plant those seeds of potential and you're open to receiving them, you know, the consciousness will shift. So this says conscious crystal channel with a twist of sweet energy to handle. So it's like you can twist into it whatever you want. You can bring the divine into your experience. You can overcome and have the resources. You can cut those cords to the people who, you know, caused relationships that were, you know, revolutionary. They changed the way that you were. It changed the way that your frequency was. So use that contrast. The dark helps us to see the light. The dark helps us to know what was wrong and what was right. And then we don't have to repeat that over and over. So, you know, like, what are you thinking about at night when you go to bed at night? Are you staying as that victim from those painful endings that you had with people that didn't really care? Or are you facing your fears and your destiny? And are you taking that leap of faith into the place where you're no longer allowing that emotion to hold you back? You know, just walk away from those old feelings and those old emotions. Start planting the seeds of potential so that you don't get left in that place of cold misery, don't have anything, just a victim for the rest of my life. Or become the King of Pentacles, who's like, I'm going to work with the right people and the right opportunities and the right seeds to be planted. I don't care how long it takes me. I will be happy in this life because I'm not going to allow the other people in this world who didn't want that for me to be the case. Like, I could lay down and die right here, or I can get up and fight and thrive. So it's up to us to find our justice and our balance sometimes, and it doesn't always seem fair, and it doesn't always seem easy, but I feel like you can have that new beginning, and you can have everything that you need to basically believe a new belief and to spark a new beginning of love and emotional fulfillment, where you're the one that rises up. And let the people who fucking tried to hurt you or harm you or hold you back see that you're not going to be that version of yourself, that you're not going to let all the shit that goes bad be the determiner of what happens to you. You're going to balance it all out. You're going to follow your passion. And if you like the job and you like the people and you like everything there, just try it out. What's the worst that happens? You try it out and you find out that you don't like it anymore, then you leave. We don't have to be committed to anything. You know, I think that's part of the problem with this world, is everybody gets like used to the way it is, but when it's not happily ever after, you don't have to stay. You just go and see, and then if that's not it, you leave. And then you close up and say, okay, I'm not going to stay here anymore because it's just leading me to this, or it's not emotionally fulfilling, or I don't feel like as totally aligned and good as I could. So when it's not the right partner, the right career, the right opportunity, or the right thing, we got to find out by, embracing it and looking at it and going in. And if it doesn't end well, it's just another lesson for another reason. But don't miss the opportunities based out of fear of the unknown, or based out of some belief of like, I can't handle it. You may just think that, but in divine time, things align. So know that things will come into your life at the right moment. The star seed energies are awakening for you at this time. You may have been out of alignment, but this could be the thing that brings you back into it. So try to, realize the fears that you have, shift that consciousness, shift into a timeline of wholeness and completion. Never stop working on yourself. Expect the upgrade. Don't give in to like the falseness, and then don't rush anything either. Try to give yourself the ample time. It says in a month's time you'll see the light shine. So give it a couple of weeks to see if you can do it. And if you choose after a couple of weeks that it's too much, then you'll know. But the time is now. There's no need to wait. Go try it out. Hey, good babies. All right, so Pauline says, yes, ready to hear what Spirit wants me to know, either just me or my counterpart. Okay, I saw that one about the guy calling the crows. Oh, yeah. There was so many of them that I've seen in such a short time. It's been like insanity. I'm like, okay, obviously you guys want me to try to work with these fucking crows. I don't even know if I have crows, but I'll try. All right, so Pauline is wondering about the counterpart. We have the reason I come and go is because I can't stay away, but I'm not ready to give all I know you deserve, so I run. I'm afraid of this love, and I'm afraid of pain too, so I run because I'm just no good right now. So obviously this person has run from you a few times, and it's out of their fears. They don't know what to do. They've checked on you to see if you were with someone else, because you could have anyone you want. I'll be calling you soon. Leave the phone on. I'm addicted to your body, mind, and soul. I have so many fantasies to play out with you. You turn me on in unexpected ways, in unexpected times. You're the best lover I've ever had. You're so amazing. It's intimidating. I've tried to move on with others, but I can't forget you. I've screamed and had fits of rage over our connection. You're the destination I seek, my reason to grow. I'm sorry if I've ever made you question your own worth. You're incredible inside and out. You're lovely from head to toe. I'll be calling you soon. So I feel like this person does want to reach out to you. I want to be vulnerable with you. I'm just afraid that you're not going to believe me, probably because of all the times that they've run away. They say, I feel you sending me energy, and it takes all of my self-control not to come ravage you. I should be further ahead in life by now. Would you be able to forgive all my mistakes? Could you truly trust me? I get insecure when it comes to you. I'm nervous and overwhelmed in your presence. So they obviously are carrying a lot of burdens when it comes to your situation. The Three of Cups, I feel like there could have been other people or other energies that interfered with them staying near you, or they could have, just allowed their thoughts, the third parties doesn't have to be a person. The third party could be the belief system. The third party could be family members or age differences, or, religion differences, something that caused them to not feel like in their masculine power. And you're the feminine in the energy, so you have that shadowy, that one up on them, because they don't have that intuitive capability that the feminine has. They don't see the stuff the same way that we see it. They logically understand shit. they're not necessarily intuitively feeling their emotions. So you have that ability to feel things and just like not worry about stuff that they think about so much. And they beat themselves up over the ways that they've already been. So then that causes illusions, and it causes them to just run away again and cause more of the same fucking issue, rather than just like healing it or starting over and sparking balance and justice into your life. So the best thing to do usually is to just be your best self and to work on yourself, and then to be honest with yourself. Like, is this something that we can heal? Is this something that we can reconcile? Is this something that I need to put a death to entirely and just like close up and walk away from? Or is this something that we can communicate over and heal together so that they can be emotionally available and open with me, and we can have our 10 of Pentacles and our 4 of Wands? You at some point will have to make that choice and decide, is this person capable of giving me my wishes coming true, or am I just, prolonging the inevitable? And, is this person showing me that they can't be in their integrity, or they can't follow their passion, or they can't spark what they need to spark at this time? Doesn't mean forever, it just means like right now. So when we know that they can't do it right now, we might have to choose for them to not even entertain them, or to deal with them in any way, and to just let them go evolve until they become an emperor. That could be this lifetime, could be another lifetime, depends on them. And it also depends on us, because if we stay stuck as a matter of their being stuck, and we don't go through that death process, then the union's not going to manifest either way, because neither one of us have healed. And if it does come together, it will break apart again because we're not healed. So the best thing for us to do is to become spiritually activated within ourselves, heal whatever karma we have, whatever beliefs we hold, whatever thing we're mirroring, and then spark what makes me feel magnetic, what makes me feel alive. Where do I still have anxiety? Where are the beliefs that are blocking me? Where can I plant seeds of potential to overcome? And where can I, get rid of these burdens that are causing conflict and competition and chaos? How can I face my fears and show this person, the way? Because if you're the feminine's usually leading, especially with the emotional stuff. And if you've been guarded and you've been blocked and you haven't been, able to express your truth fully, or if you keep awakening, like you keep going through these levels of awakening, and your intuition sparks, and you're still becoming like that empress, then it may be a little bit of time for both people to get there, but eventually people can make that decision to work together, to do that together, and to have that passionate new start that doesn't keep failing, or like sparking and then running away, and then sparking and then running away. So if it's destined to be, it'll be. But the best way to manifest is to heal whatever karmic lessons are slowing things down in your reality when it comes to them. Okay. You've waited 25 years. Geez, man. I feel like we feel like that anyways, just because when if you're not together in a balanced union with somebody, it feels like you've been waiting your whole life for that. But instead of getting caught up on the time or whatever, try not to think about the details so much, because I feel like that sometimes also hinders things. Or it's like our perspective versus their perspective, and they're always looking at it from their own perspective. But whatever inside of us as a child didn't get the love that we needed, or didn't get the care that we should have had, or we didn't get the parenting that we should have had, we have to intuitively become our parents and re-heal those parts of ourselves, and nurture ourselves and love ourselves, so that we can, get the right partnership to choose us and to choose them, and to be the one that, shows how to have this. Because if you grow up in a home that maybe didn't have that, I don't think anybody really did. Some of us probably did. Some of us probably had a home where it was like mom and dad were like happy, lappy dappy, and no problems were ever had. But in the real world, there wasn't a lot of information out there. It was like, if you were a bad kid, you got your ass kicked, and you were put away, and your cares and your needs and your desires weren't always met in the way that would be the best way to care for kids. Like, it's a hard thing today. And the woman was like, tonight at dinner, her daughter started having like a meltdown because they mixed the fish or the shrimp into the pasta, and the kid was like, like having a freak out. And I know if that was my parent, she would have probably been like, fuck you, Bob, like, just eat it, bitch, like, I don't give a fuck, Bob, like, whatever. And so instead of doing that, the mom was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, we didn't realize that you didn't want it that way. And then the dad came in and he started to rationalize about this, about like, well, it's all going to the same place anyway, blah, 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 blah. But then he realized, like, that's not how a child works. Like, when a kid is freaking out like that, it's the bottom of the brain back here that's like, bah, bah, bah. It's that amygdala thing, the fucking reptile part of us that's like, ah, it makes no sense, but I'm pissed. And so he started to, like, also follow the lead of the mother and be like, I'm sorry, and then they, like, joked with her and, like, got her to come out of that time of being highly, like, upset. If you grew up, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it probably wasn't like that so much. There was a lot of karma that was passed down generation to generation. Doesn't mean anybody had bad parents. It just means that we had parents that were doing what they knew what they could do. And unfortunately, that's left a lot of people with healing to do within their childhood wounds. So when we heal that about ourselves, we become that single, sexy, confident, independent person that's done that work. We can have a healthy union with somebody that chooses us and we choose them. And we can have healthy boundaries with self-respect, and we can have abundance and be the empress, and then have children that we don't, fuck up, or just relationships that we don't fuck up, or we can be emotionally available. We can have healthier beliefs. We can have emotional investment with each other. And people see us take that lead, especially if you're the divine feminine, you have a divine masculine that has his own shit show in his brain, or his own belief system that's come about from being maybe not in the perfect environment as a child. And there's a lot of illusions in our world, and there's a lot of things that keep us stuck. But the more that we awaken and heal and shift that stuff that we went through, the more we come into a valuable new beginning with ourselves in our life. We face the fears, we face each other. We can move faster and transform our situations and overcome that stuff that would normally keep us stuck or keep us defeated. We can choose each other, we can choose ourselves, and we can follow spirit and the guidance to get to our victory and to get to where we're supposed to be without a bunch of chaos and without, like, letting go of our dream to have what we wish for. But sometimes we might have to find another person, or we might have to find another path for the time being until they can meet us and give us, like, that emotional fulfillment that's going to be like the phoenix rising through the ashes. When you're the empress, they can be the emperor. When you spark your passion and, you're not putting your needs on hold anymore, you're not letting your anxiety, like, keep you in a place where you accept less than what you deserve, that's when they can show up and give to you what you deserve. But it's also a balancing act of our intuition, moving on from where we've been, and then realizing everything has an origin story, and every story has has pieces that lead back to tomorrow's. And no matter how far you go, there you will be. And it's not a straight line. So it's like, if we haven't done that healing work on all those levels, we're going to keep coming back to it. We're going to keep coming back to who we are, what our beliefs are, what we need to heal. And the same thing's going to be reflected back to us from those people in our lives. So nature's reflections, elements and dimensions of sediment which sparkle, creating timeless expressions. So it's basically everything around us is constantly being rippled back to us. These cycles of creation and destruction are happening, but when we start to show up for ourselves and our health and our organizations, and we're upkeeping, we're disciplined, and we're working on ourselves, we'll have no choice but to either eventually totally vibrate away from people, or those people are going to rise up to meet us there. But we're the ones that are creating that new timeline and that new reality, and we've got to communicate openly and expressively with others so that we can end up in that place of a divine ecstasy. So, just keep being the best be the best you can be as the feminine. Nurture yourself, heal your inner child, be positive about things. Know that the darkness you've been through has led to the light. Shed the outgrown layers, just keep being confident, and also authentic with yourself. Like, have I really healed all of that? Or maybe I still have patterns inside of myself that I'm not being honest with. Is there still parts of me that I need to shed? Is there still things that I let myself believe means that I'm not worthy of, or makes me believe that, like, I don't deserve this? Because when we have those things, it keeps us from receiving the things that we want to receive. So we can be receptive all we want, but if we don't believe that we can have what we want to receive, we're not going to receive it. We're going to block it. And again, it's not a straight path, and there's things that we need to shed on the way. But whatever the patterns are, when you look at them and you heal them, it'll get easier to get there. And there probably will be conflict and chaos along the way, but there's two ways of looking at every situation. And when we balance between the creator and the receptor, and we are determined and loyal to ourselves and others, we can heal. And this is like a moth to a flame, a toxic love game. Self-love is the weapon, walk away is the play. So if we keep healing and loving ourselves and we keep rising and other people don't meet us there, then we have to walk away. That's the play in those circumstances. But we can have victory, and we can balance these things out and clear this karma, and we can heal from the wounds of our tower moments. But we have to also remember, like, if we're not getting what we're putting into things, then we can't stay there, because that's just going to make us believe that that's all we're worthy of. So it may require strength at times to choose not to wait. And that doesn't mean that you never come together with somebody or like whatever. It just means that you stop waiting for more pain. You stop waiting for that cycle to keep repeating, so that eventually your cycle of union can manifest. But it's also trusting your intuition. Is this the right move for me? Or is this coming out of my fear, my self-sabotaging? And everybody's in their own circumstances with that. You know when you feel like you've been rejected. You know when you don't feel like somebody actually values you, or when somebody's using you for their own, needs, or when somebody is just like keeping an eye, and they don't want you to go anywhere, but like they don't necessarily want you either. They're just kind of like coming in to keep you from going away completely. And we'll recognize that if that's the case. So if you don't think that's the case, or you think that maybe it could be the case at this time, but if I heal and I overcome the part of me that allows that, they're going to see that and have no choice but to either rise up or step the fuck off, because I'm going to manifest the 10 of Pentacles with the right person that can give to me my 2 of Cups. When I recognize that I deserve a valuable new start, and I don't choose those people anymore that put me into that position, that keep me in a state of anxiety, or in a state of, dealing with people who are guarded and greedy and blocked off and can't give to me. That's when I decide to become guarded and protect myself from that, so I can have my victory, because I would rather have somebody that's caring and compassionate. So spread your wings and rise through the dark, stormy sky. See the sun rise, and know that it's not a straight path, but just be clear with yourself and love yourself as much as you can, because that's going to be very attractive to the divine alignment that people want for a divine union. It's that fertility that we need. Fertile seeds harvest abundance, and then cetacean, emotional cleansing, and large waves of wisdom channeled through the light of an infinite cosmic ocean. This is the Syrian healing, cleansing energy of the star beings. And then exploring internal planes, consciousness creates all of your dreams. So just get clear with the universe about what you want to create, how you want to create it, and then treat yourself to the best of your ability, so that that can come to be. And whoever shows up on your path that's delivering those things that are in alignment for that, allow them to be there, and shed the things that don't need to be there. Cut the cords to those things that don't need to be there. Forgive the people that have hurt you, but be aware enough to know that, like, you have the value and the worth innately to deserve to get, like, you're deserving of love. You're deserving of time. You're deserving of not spending sleepless nights feeling miserable. You're deserving of somebody that is willing to fight for you, that's willing to show up for you, that sees you as that Venus energy, that sees you as that beautiful, caring, compassionate, passionate person that they want to receive that love from. And if they don't want to receive it, then you can't let your life be put on hold forever, hoping that someday that they do. So look for the deeper meaning within things, and then just keep choosing yourself until other people start to reflect that back to you and choose you as well. I'm open to whatever spirit wants me to know. I finished RTT, waiting to hear about my video assessment and get my certification. Curious about any blocks that I may have too. Okay. And then, yes, I feel much lighter and more happy with myself lately. Like a temperance kind of feeling. I'm doing the hard things with career, as in resume stuff and cover letters, also sharing poems, okay? On rails, it's very vulnerable, but maybe others can relate. And I did the past life, had a Akashic record length reading, and it revealed so much about some past lives. Also been getting Reiki done too. Thank you so much. On point. I'll keep at it. Awesome sauce. You're welcome, Monica. Okay, so let's see. Curious about the certification and blocks for Jenny. Oh, wait. Curious about any blocks. Okay. Open to whatever spirit wants me to know. Okay, so congratulations on finish. I'm sure you're going to get, like, you intuitively know that you're going to get your certification. Like, I don't think that's a question about that. You may get weirded out or something, or you may start to fear and then be like, oh no, and then cause a block if you're expecting a block. But if you stay in your magnetic, charismatic, energy where you don't let yourself go into that place of like, oh, it's been 3 days. Oh no, that must mean blah, 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 blah. Then you'll be all right. Like sometimes things are slow. Sometimes people don't do things as quickly as we would like them to. When we're waiting for something, it can feel like an eternity. But I feel like you have your passion ignited inside of you. You've been finding your strength for a while. You've been healing emotionally. You've been awakening. You've been overcoming your fears and your blocks and your illusions and all of that. You've spiritually aligned to take that next level to yourself. And because of that, emotional fulfillment will be presented to you because you're loving yourself enough to take those steps to do that work, to finish that process, to put that effort in, to make that video, and even if it comes back and it's like, they have something to say about it or whatever, it doesn't mean that like you don't whatever. It would probably be like positive feedback of like, hey, blah 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 blah, and then you just edit it and make that known for yourself, for your betterment. Because I think what we have a tendency to do is like in those circumstances where we present something and people come back and they're like blah 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 blah, we immediately get defensive. And I know you're a lot like I am. And anytime somebody has something to say, you're probably like, what the fuck? Because it's not often that happens to us. Because we're psychos. And we try really, really fucking hard to do everything that we do perfectly, probably from childhood where we had no fucking choice but to be perfect or to be ridiculed. So you're used to being the head of the show. You're used to always being emotionally fulfilled. You're used to always succeeding at the top of the game. And if that doesn't happen for some reason, if your victory doesn't come at the exact way that like you would want it to, like where it's just like my first try, boom, done, nailed it, then, you may be like, and go through the death, but you'll rise back up through it when you realize, like, okay, like, whatever the person said, like, they're the expert here. They're the one that, like, I paid all this money to have this thing in my life that works in my benefit. So even if it doesn't come back exactly 100%, it's just a creative outlet for them, like, for me to use that thing that I'm using, that certification, in a way that will be beneficial to other people, so that I can be at the best, so that I don't get, caught in illusions, so that I don't believe that like what I'm doing is the best way to do it when maybe there's a better way to do it. So try not to go to like the fear place or anything like that, but just know that sometimes things are slower than we would like them to be. And positive feedback doesn't always mean that we did it wrong or that we're horrible at something. It's just a positive way of giving us feedback so that we can spark something that is valuable. And, it shows that whoever trained us knew what they were doing, because it's also a reflection of whoever trained us. It's a reflection of that person and the work that they do. So you want to keep that in mind too. It's like, maybe it's just the way that person would present it. Doesn't mean that your way is wrong, but it may be that person's a fucking, control freak and like has their way of doing things that they would not do well unless they know that everybody is on the same page doing that 10 of cup experience that they've done. So try to choose to like take things like that lightly, even just in everyday life, because I know it's something that has been a problem for myself. And you know, that like we take on that belief of like, I'm not good enough because I didn't do it perfect the first fucking time out the gate. Like, oh no, like that if it's not perfect or if we're not the best, then we kind of have like a hard time. That's also an ADHD thing I found out. Like it's like if you don't do it the best off the get-go, it's like fuck it, I don't want to do it. But if you do it good the first time, then you'll keep doing it. um, and that's just like one of those things. I don't know why, but it seems to be something that a lot of those people have. So try not to beat yourself up when you do get constructive criticism, which is, I feel like, the only thing that would probably come as a result of submitting a video. But yeah, I feel like you have the passion, you have the drive, you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge. You can unite with yourself for that, but you can also attract the opposite, because you are the creator of your reality, and you know this. Like, whatever you focus on is what you create. So if you keep focusing on like, oh, what if it's bad, or what if they reject me, or what if I don't get approved, or whatever, like, I don't even then think that's a possibility. I think it's just more so like they may have you change or edit or something, and then resubmit, and then you get it. So like, worst case scenario is you just take whatever they tell you about it, apply that to it, spark that. Don't let it become a tower moment. Just take it as a learning lesson, and so that you can improve your ability. Because that woman, I forget her name, but whoever she is, like, her husband is like a he's like a dude for marketing and advertising. So like, whatever they have to say about however you do whatever you do is going to be valuable. You know, it's going to be something that likely we wouldn't know. But that's, again, only if it does come back with something to change. It may not, but either way, they're the right people to work together with to build something that is very successful. So whatever they do have to say about you and your certificate and all of that, take it as, this is the right alignment for me. This is the right way to present it. This is going to give me better opportunity to become abundant doing this work, rather than being a burden or being something that is negative or not the best. Yeah, so see this as like your time to take a leap of faith and towards a time of victory and time of celebration, of meeting the right people, of rising into your star energy, knowing the right information so that you can be abundant doing this, if this is what you choose to do. Because I know you've been on the fence for a while about, should I do this or should I do that, or should I stay with where I am? But deep inside of you, you've been being called to that spiritual work. You've been going through the death process and the rebirth process. You've been put into the hermit modes. You've been through the spiritual awakening that, causes us to transform on all levels and move on from where we are into better days, so that we can have our emotional fulfillment and our 10 of cups. So trust your intuition. Don't let it beat you up. See yourself healing and nurture yourself. Heal the deep wounds that could be getting triggered too. Like, if you notice like something happens and it starts to trigger you, try to see where the darkness is and see how you can illuminate that, so you can create and express yourself in a way that's like, I'm self-aware of that, and I'm not going to let that become a problem. You have the tools now, especially with like the belief stuff. Record yourself a hypnosis session, and put yourself out there. Be fertile and creative in the way that you express yourself. And even if they do come back with something to say that maybe, like, you choose to present this in a different way, I feel like as long as you do it without like their name on it, then it would probably be fine, because everybody has their way of taking their beliefs and presenting their stuff to this world. So there's alternate realities for all of us. Doesn't mean that like their way is the only way that will ever work. But I would obviously take it into consideration, be comparing and compassionate, be self-aware about maybe whatever things that we have from ourselves and our darkness from times in the past, people that have hurt us, or belief systems of like, I've got to be perfect or whatever, so that you can know what you need to know in order to build your legacy and create the best opportunities for yourself, create the right teams, the right opportunities, the right expansion, cut away the falseness or the false people or the false ideas that are keeping us from like driving into that energetic exchange, and then seeing from a grand scale the big the big picture of like why this may be better to do it this way, or why may they want me to do it that way, because sometimes people are doing it for self-serving purposes. So also trust your intuition. If it doesn't feel right, then just take into consideration what was said. Look at it from like, are they just doing that because they want to get more clients to come to them, or so that they can be like the one that is in that big position, so that they keep getting their network to expand? Like I feel like that might be one of those things where it's like, you present all of your stuff and all this information that but like if you don't say like, what's her name? Something Patricia? Is it Patricia? What the hell is her name? I can't remember her name, but it was like, it's like on the top of my head, but you know what I mean? Like if it's like, oh, Marissa Peer. If it wasn't Marissa Peer, like if you don't say Marissa Peer in your thing, she may be like, hey, make sure you say Marissa Peer. Because she obviously wants people to go to her on that grand scale. But if that was the case, like you don't have to take that out into the world with you. You could just say, I was trained to be a hypnotist and blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing like they can do about it as long as you're not presenting exactly what they gave to you. You know what I mean? So if it does, whatever feels right, feels right. Whatever doesn't feel right, doesn't feel right. But also just don't let anything like that be personally taken in. Just know that if it does happen, it's most likely for one of those reasons of like her wanting herself to be fertile and expand and grow. Like her husband's a fucking marketing man. Obviously, they're going to be like caring a little bit about that stuff. And so, create your community, transformation, the friendships and things like that. Like make sure you're creating those right networks and all of that. But if it doesn't resonate for you, if it feels wrong on some level, or if it feels icky on some level, then don't be afraid to see the deeper meaning within it and to let those things go. And just don't get yourself in trouble. Just make sure that whatever you say, it makes sense. And it's like presented like, like just don't tell anybody where you got your certificate. Don't even say anything about the certificate. Just offer the service without that information if it was going to cause a problem. And that's just an example. Like if something were to go wrong, or if there was something that didn't feel right. But I feel like more than anything, they're probably just taking their time. You just got to wait, and then you'll have your recognition that you are amazing and you did it perfectly and you are awesome sauce, and your ADHD will be all good. Oh, dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. Let me chase this around. And you'll be happy in your union. But if something else occurs, listen to what I said and keep your dopamine there by knowing like, oh, they're just doing it for X, Y, Z. Like it's probably some technical little weird thing like that doesn't really make myself less valuable or worse at this or whatever. It's just them trying to keep their situation afloat and spreading the word of, hey, this is Marissa Peer and Marissa Peer. And like the fact that I can call that lady's name out is, clarity on the fact that like she's a well-known name in the game, because I never took her class and I never, learned anything from her, but I know who she is because her husband is a marketing man and they market themselves really well. All right. Hello. Okay, let's see. Oh, wait, what? Ha. Yes, I am Capricorn after all. So true. Marissa Peer. Yes. Haha. I just said that I was going to make my own recording. That's so funny. And then, yeah, they want you to use her verbiage, and it makes sense. Haha. Yeah, so make your own recording for those beliefs of like, be prepared for that. Like, no matter what this woman says, it's clear that she has her thing set up because she knows what's going to work for herself. It's not for you necessarily, it's for her. Which is smart business. Like, so if anything, look at what she does and apply that to your life and to your business and to your career, because that's how I've usually faced like that type of stuff. Is like, hey, that person that's like number one doing this stuff, I'm going to look at what they do, how they do it, what they teach, and, you know, learn about it. Like when I did Etsy, there's a woman on Etsy that like literally makes like 4 hour long videos about all of the extra Etsy shit that makes your shop better. And I watch her, learn from her, hear from her, and then apply, you know, and that just makes sense business wise. So, you know, don't take it personally, but I think that's obviously who she is. Marissa up here, Marissa up here. I can remember seeing her like 2 years ago, and I almost signed up for her thing, and that's how good her marketing is. When you find yourself signing up for something, you know there was good marketing in that, because that's what it's set up to do. But obviously learning from that person is also very beneficial for yourself, because now you're going to know how to apply that. So no matter how we look at it, we could look at it one way or the other. Oh, she bamboozled me into taking this thing, and now I got to say it the way. No, I don't. But now I know how she's doing it. I can apply that to my stuff and benefit. All right, so let's see. Where am I? Hello. Angelica, thank you. Can I get advice on my love life? Sure. All right. And advice on the love life. Please show me. There we go. All right. We got the Prince of Swords. So whoever you're connected to, like if you've had love in your life already, I feel like there could be somebody that is either looking at you from your past, or it could be somebody that is new that you don't know about that's looking at you, that may want to come communicate with you, maybe feeling passionately driven towards you, maybe feeling like they want to offer you something in the material world. They may feel like you're very magnetically charged and seductive and powerful. There could have been karma involved with this person, or there could be karma involved, which when I say karma, that doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, they're going to be horrible, toxic, bad person. Anybody we've had a past life with, anybody that we've lived with another time, there's going to be karma for us to balance and clear out. Like that's the whole point of running into each other again, or choosing to come into this life, so that we can have clarity, we can have our apologies, they can present their emotional offer, we can love them, they can love us, and we can like meet up on that, you know, deep love, and have an emotional partnership with somebody that works together to build something that's worth having. But if they come into our life and they start causing destruction and chaos and making us feel like we're inadequate, or they, you know, only come in for passion and then they're gone again, or they don't treat us as this person who's single, sexy, confident, independent, or they don't speak their truth, or they hold back, then they may not be the right one. But I feel like there's definitely somebody that is your King of Pentacles to your Queen of Pentacles. There is an Emperor to your Empress. Like I'm seeing all of these couples coming together very easily. So whoever is out there for you, your ultimate fulfillment, your 10 of Pentacles, this is the money, this is the love, this is the everything you could ever fucking want. Boom, right there. That all just came together so easily. So I feel like, if anything, there could be fear, anxiety, doubt, or pain from the past, or painful past experiences that you went through or they went through, that's keeping you from your emotional fulfillment, that's keeping you from having this very easily aligned relationship that looks like it would come together and be amazing together very quickly off the get-go. So there could be something you need to heal, based out of like the past. Maybe this person was in your past a long time ago, or maybe this person, it came in, you know, after somebody else came in and played with you, that was like in and out, or wasn't committed, or wasn't ready, or wasn't whatever the fuck it was. They were just like, but they just didn't have their shit together. Intuitively, you're going to know. Intuitively, you're going to know if it's a new person or if it's an old person. Intuitively, you're going to know like how quickly things should move. Intuitively, you're going to know what your wish come true is. And, you know, destiny can unfold for you and deliver that, you know, thing that makes you feel loved and happy and joyful. But you just as easily, you can create the thing that misses that opportunity. You can leave yourself out in the cold. You can hold on to the wounds of the past and the things that fell apart before, or you can find your strength to overcome that and find the happiness to know like, okay, it didn't work out then because it wasn't meant to. And when we choose to make that decision of like, it wasn't meant to, that's not where I'm going to stay, where we stop waiting, we have healthy boundaries, we plant the seeds of potential for things to grow. We have that spiritual commitment to ourselves. We move on from whatever it was that wasn't working. We heal the wounds of whatever wasn't working. We stop juggling our own value and worth. We stop believing the beliefs that were keeping us stuck, and we awaken to a new perspective. And then we get into that chariot that moves very quickly towards our progression of love and, and having good things. So they're saying a few weeks could be fast or slow, but you've got to, it will be your perspective that makes that decision. So you have the foundation already beneath you, that 444 divine alignment. But whatever fears that you have around the divine aligned, like synchronicity, just things coming together very easily without all this chaos, without any conflict, if you don't feel like that's easily attainable, or maybe you believe that there's something in the way, or maybe you believe something about yourself or something about the person that you would like it to be with, you've got to change those beliefs. And when you do, you will see clearly and you'll clear up any confusion. But if things haven't been in alignment, or it hasn't come together very easily with a particular person, that may just not be the right person for right now, or it may never be that right person, but you're already free in this moment. If that's the case, if they're not the right person and they're never going to be the right person, you're already free to go get the right person. You're already free for the divine alignment of the foundation that's going to quickly manifest into you having what you would love to have, a partner that chooses you and that moves quickly. But if you don't allow yourself to believe that, or you stay stuck on something that can't manifest, if you don't balance the mind and you keep procrastinating and wasting time, it won't happen. It's going to be delayed and put off. So you will have to be the one that chooses to transform the third element here. The third element could be that you're depressed about what's happened in the past. The third element could be that you are missing somebody that just can't return. Or the third element could be that you're being very logical where you need to be creative, or you're being too creative, like too right-brained, where you need to be logical. Only you'll be able to really know. Again, like I said, you have that intuition to know. And it says, when we tilt away from the sun, know that things will soon be done with winter solstice. So we already had that happen. So I feel like cycles are ending for you at this time, and you're coming to the end of that cycle. So it's like you've been saving up for this new one, and you have everything that you need right now to make it through. And when you start to focus on the gratitude and you open your heart to receive the love that you would like to receive, and you don't place anything on it, any expectations on it, the justice will come to you, I think, very swiftly and quickly. So try to take off any very set belief of like, it has to be Joe Schmo from blah, blah, blah. Expect the upgrade. Expect that things are awakening. Expect that things are gonna come quickly, that you're getting that manifestation of the divine love that you would like to have in your life. That's going to be the best love for you. It's going to be the best person for you. And it's going to be at the most, perfect time for you. It's like, tomorrow is another day. Choose again, like, do this a different way. However you've been doing it up till now, if you feel like it hasn't been working, balance the mind, stop wasting time. Know that things will be quick, like just like that, they will be back. But it may require you moving on from something, or ending a cycle that you were holding on to for too long, or a belief that you were holding on to too long. It's like, look around and see, you already have everything you need. And you will have that expansion and the results that you're looking for. Time is an illusion. Release your confusion. What are you waiting for? Open the door. I feel like there's some sort of opportunity that you're missing out on because you're not allowing yourself to see it as that opportunity, or you're not believing that this is like the right emotional fulfillment, or like the wrong judgment call, or you're just not seeing something that's already available to you that could be a celebration. Maybe it's that you don't recognize that somebody's in love with you that is. It could be that you're afraid of being defeated or hurt by somebody that's already hurt you. But I feel like somebody has something to say to you. There's a new beginning that can be very quickly. It's going to be bringing you love. It's going to be bringing you unconditional love. But you just need to shift your focus. So wherever your focus has been, or whoever your focus has been, try to shift what that is. Like, try not to be like 100% like it's got to be blah blah blah, or it's got to be like some person specific. Just know that in divine time things will align, and trust that, know that, see that, and that you're already free for that to happen. If you're single and you don't have anybody in your life right now, then obviously you can expect that upgrade right now. And it's like things will keep moving, and if not, decades will come and go if you don't choose to grow. So if you're holding on to something that can't grow, you've got to let that go, so that the upgrade can come and that victory can manifest. And you might have to cut somebody out or let go of an idea of what you thought might have been, or who the right person was, or maybe somebody at some point told you it was going to be somebody specific, but sometimes people are wrong, or maybe we really wanted it to be somebody that we already know, but when we're holding on to that one person, we might be blocking the one that Spirit's trying to deliver to us. Or we may just have fear of new love because everybody in the past ended badly instead of the 10 of Cups. So wherever your fears are, wherever you've been blocking yourself, try to look at that, try to find out what beliefs it is that you're holding on to. It could even be as simple as like you not believing that you're worthy of love, or you not feeling like you deserve love, or that every time you get involved with somebody, they end up cheating on you, or they don't open up emotionally, they just watch from the sideline, or things take too long and then it just kind of fizzles out. But be mindful of what you're thinking, what you're speaking, what you're communicating. Don't get caught up in illusions, and just be open to this upgrade, because I feel like it's trying to come, and they're saying like, expect this. What are you waiting for? Open the door for your opportunity. Trust your intuition, and don't get caught up in the karmic lessons of the past. Like whatever's happened that ended badly, let those wounds go. Don't get nervous about that stuff. Just know that the true love comes when the true love comes. But if you hold on to the energetics of everybody before that hurt you or lied to you or manipulated you or used you or did whatever, then it's going to be very difficult to get this, because you're going to be blocking yourself from that because you're afraid of it. At the same time, wanting it, but afraid of it. At some point, we've got to be like, okay, like, I'm not afraid of it anymore. I'm going to let it in. I want my wish to come true more than I am afraid of my wish coming true, because I know I deserve a valuable offer. I know I deserve true love. I know I have healed. I have grown. I have the ability and the strength to recognize those things of like, red flags, and I see these illusions easily now. Like I can recognize a fucking king from a page. I can recognize who's going to leave me out in the cold, who's going to let me feel, rejected, and I can also see who won't do that. And I can love myself enough to do what I need to do to heal from whatever that has been in the past. So I feel like you could have somebody coming in very quickly, or somebody returning very quickly, as soon as you choose to let them come, back into your life. Yeah, so you're at the end of a cycle, and you just got to jump into the next phase, and that's going to be a valuable new start. But whoever defeated you in the past, or left you out in the cold in the past, or juggled you in the past, just have the clarity of knowing that you know how to recognize that now, and you won't allow that now. So your union can manifest quickly and easily because you've awoken to what's true and what's passionate and what's like moving you forward. But if you hold on to the fears of that without moving away from that, it's just going to be too much. It's just going to keep you from it longer. You know what I mean? But you can attract a man of integrity, a man that is very passionate towards you, a man that's willing to jump in all the way quickly, who has strength, and doesn't, cause more pain or more anxiety based out of the behaviors. Like, you'll be able to recognize quickly enough and be like, okay, fuck you, I'm out of here. Like, you're not gonna take me on that same ride that I've already been on. I know what those burdens feel like. I know what that looks like, and I'm not going back on that. And again, this could be somebody from the past coming back to reconcile with you, and it may have just been that you needed to heal from whatever they did to you so that they could bring you the new version of themselves. Because sometimes we hold on to the old version of people even though they may not be that anymore, and that can actually block us from our victory, or from like the leisure, wishes coming true, the commitment, that partnership, the thing. It's like we get addicted to the karmic crap. We get addicted to who people were. We see them stuck, you know, or like we get stuck seeing them in that way that they were showing themselves. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, you know, that they have 100% changed. You will know by interacting with them and how they behave. And if you just keep your boundaries up and you don't let people, you know, take too much too soon, you'll have that unknown information to not go back into like a big burden or into a big obstacle or problem or dealing with distant solitude type of bullshit. Like, you are the one that can be the CEO, the judge. You can be the ruler of the situation and choose very quickly, like, is this person purpose driven? Are they giving me love? Or are we at a crossroads once again? Are they continuously meeting me at this place? And then also let spirit guide you with spirit's messages. Like, are they going to allow you to go to be the one that has the will to win? Are you going to dominate here? Are you going to get to that victory, to a balanced, centered, good situation? Or is it going to be like, you know, again, the crow, memories, remembering, mystery, magical power, an omen, a new event or happening, and observant. So again, be observant, pay attention, and then you'll know which way to go at the fork in the road. Whether or not it's going to be like towards an island of being by yourself, or if it's going to be, hey, look at perfect timing, finally you got your shit together and so did I, and now we can have our exceptional attraction and our amazing time together. You know, we developed over time. We're like fine wine. We got better. We got our shit together. And now we can come to this crossroads and go together into a way of being established, mature, having a better sexuality, you know, problem solving, realizing what didn't work in the past so we can make things work now. So whether or not that's with somebody from your past or with a whole new person, you'll be the one that gets to decide based off of the wisdom that you've learned already. All right. All right. So I got that. So will Demetrius Gray reach out to me to start a new beginning with me? Let's see. Will Demetrius reach out to start a new beginning? I got the Chariot, so I feel like this is a yes. But there is wounds or like a wounded version of ourselves that was rejected in the past. So if he hurt you in the past and broke your heart in the past, you may be actually blocking his return because he may be feeling drawn to you, but he may be also afraid of you because it's going to require him being in his integrity and his truth and like speaking up and being like, I'm sorry that I left you with all those burdens, or I'm sorry that I broke your heart, or I'm sorry that I was a dick and that I, you know, ran away. But when you stand in your power, single, sexy, confident, independent, and you heal those beliefs of like, I deserved that, or whatever, or I'm not worthy of love because nobody ever gives it to me, or it's always going to be the same, it's always going to end the same, or they're always going to be who they've been. If we believe that about people, then that's what they're going to keep showing us, regardless of who they are, because we project onto people what we believe about people. And if we can't believe that they love us or that they're going to fill us up emotionally, then they're going to have a hard time doing that until we heal that belief system about them. So if you want to spark a new passionate beginning of justice and balance with him, and like feel like magnetically attracted and reconcile and all of that, follow your intuition, but also become that empress so he can meet you as the emperor, so that he can come with his passion and his drive, and it's not going to scare you away, or it's not going to make you feel like he's just getting creative so he can like sleep with me and then do whatever, you know, whatever it is that you believe about him, like whatever he's already done that didn't end so well. You know, do you believe at the heart of your heart that you can actually have this with him, or is it always going to be a mess because of whatever happened already? And remember that you have a telepathic communication with this person, especially if we've slept with somebody or anything, like, got emotionally connected to somebody. Usually there's an energetic thing that happens, and like they're gonna feel it. So like energetic is right here, and it says squirrel, frugal, saving, hoarding, scolding, giving lip service, miscommunication. So if you want to take a new start, you want to be balanced within what you're expecting from this person. Don't expect the same of the old. Don't expect karmic stuff. And if you've been through past people that hurt you, don't put those things onto this new person. Don't expect what other people did to do what this one, you know what I mean? Don't expect the new guy or the whoever guy to do what somebody else did. I feel like they may have regret and shame surrounding stuff of the past. Like there could have been addictions, or there could have been other people, or there could have just been something that prevented the justice from manifesting. But there's a man that definitely wants to take a leap of faith and to have like that leisurely, abundant, good things manifesting, a death of the old, going places together, engagement, taking things to the next level, evolving, grounded, healthy, balanced partnership. But if you've been hurt by anybody at any time, try to make sure that that's not keeping you from your justice and balance, healed in this experience, because I feel like it's just a matter of shifting the perspective, seeing from a new way. Like if you believe, oh, he's just a shiesty, like out for himself, stealth, doing something that's wrong, being deceitful, being like lying, then that's what you're going to see within him no matter what. So choose to walk away from that belief and know that you are worthy of love, that you can have that perfect, exquisite, delicate thing that everybody wants. That just because he did something in the past doesn't mean he'll do it again. But also keep up your guard, your boundaries, and make sure that if somebody has done something in the past that didn't end so well, and you did feel rejected in the past, that you keep your Queen of Swords protection up, so that you're not planting and putting things into the ground, or like trying to grow something with somebody that isn't going to grow. So get creative in how you show up. Be this person that knows your value, knows your worth, knows that you deserve somebody that sees your strength and isn't going to cause more false beliefs, and somebody that is willing to get into this chariot and move things along quickly. There may be healing of the inner child that needs to happen. There could be false beliefs from people, family members, like he could have he could have a different religion, because this is like the Hierophant, this is religion. This says collective consciousness, tradition, programming, dogma, religion. So I don't know what his family values are, or even spell work that's been done by somebody. Because this shit happens. Like, people fucking do spell work, people do fucked up shit. It could have been done, a long, long time ago, and there could be an omen or some bad shit that's just like in the juju energy, and it shows up in your connection in a way that's like not correct. So you have to see through the facade, you have to see through the bullshit, you have to have that rebirth, you have to realize like what's true, what's real, what isn't, what is, like the magician energy that's like somebody on the outside causing conflict, or what is it that you're creating out of your beliefs and out of your mindset and out of your expectation, or what is he creating out of his? If his parents are like, oh, blah, 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 like, there's fucked up beliefs. If people are here with tarot cards and there's like a steady, like full on, like Christianity, like they'll be like, you're going to hell. So you got to be careful. What beliefs have been, ingrained into somebody, because our spiritual thing, no matter what it is, whether it's spirituality, like, my beliefs of just being spiritual and open, or my beliefs of Christianity, or my beliefs of Buddhism, or whatever, it's that belief that we hold on to, and that can cause us to be defeated, because we're too committed to it. But it could also be parents that have, had their input that you don't even know, or they don't even recognize, because it's just a belief system. It's just karma. It's just there energetically causing burdens. They may not be able to put their finger on it as to why they feel the way they feel, or what the burden is, or it could be on your side of like, I don't know what this is, but there's just something, and it's like I always do this thing, or they always do this thing, or something always happens that causes this delay, and it's because people are just following what's been ingrained into them from the day that they were born as little children. And over time, we've got to have like that healing and releasing so that we can get into our chariot and like nurture ourselves as new versions of ourselves that are ready to come together with other people and plant new seeds of potential and not expect things to end badly or to be a repeat of what already went down. So just be mindful of what you're putting out, be mindful of what you're thinking, be mindful that you are valuable, you do deserve this 10 of Cups, and I feel like somebody does want to give it to you easily, but there could be something that is preventing them from taking that leap of faith either on your side or their side. And this says, I have so much passion for you, building up, I'm going to explode. And this says, I feel you sending sexual energy my way. It takes all of my self-control to not come ravage you. I will open up more and more, I promise. I dream about you almost every night. I feel the love you send me. Thank you for always forgiving me when my ego acts up. I will be calling you soon. Leave the phone on. I love that you can see my truth, but that also scares the shit out of me. So that could also be something that has been difficult for them, is that like you have that intuition and they don't. I talked you through song lyrics, and sometimes I wonder if this is all in my head. I know deep down it's not, and I'm trying to overcome my vices and my blocks to give you what you deserve. Don't hold back, jump in. So again, if you've been holding back out of fear and out of doubt and out of whatever's happened all the way up until this point, just be aware that that could be holding things back. They've never been so turned on in their life. When they connect with you sexually, it's so intense they run because they feel themselves falling deeper in love. They don't really know what to say to you at this time, and they're battling themselves about the relationship, which again could be those beliefs that they don't understand, but they don't maybe even know why they're battling themselves. They may know that they like you, that nobody compares to you. This is, out of all the women, nobody compares to you, but I'm still battling myself for some reason. I do love you and want to spend time with you, but I'm afraid to open up fully. So there's something in them that makes them feel like they're not good enough. They say they come and go because they don't feel like they're ready to just give you all you deserve. And they again said, I feel the love you send me. Thank you for always forgiving me when my ego acts up. I do love you so much, and I'll be back to tell you the truth. I can't keep these feelings inside of myself anymore. I've never been so turned on in all my life like I am with you. I want you right now. Where are you? I'm afraid to open up. I know it will be the end of my ability to keep these walls up. I'm just protecting my heart. It really isn't you. It's me. And the fact that you even give me the time of day blows my mind. So it could even just be beliefs about themselves, like not being good enough for you. Like, out of all the women that I've dated, you're like, nobody else compares. You are, nobody compares to you at all. And I know we have a connection unlike any other. Sometimes I try to deny it, but I can't ignore the signs I receive, and I'm afraid to open up because I know it will be the end of my ability to hold it back. So I feel like they hold back just to like avoid, like, they know if they say it to you, it's like they can't deny it anymore. The fact that you give me the time of day even blows my mind. I recognize myself inside of you. I've written entire messages to send to you, but I always end up deleting them. My fear of intimacy paralyzes me. I'm constantly battling myself about this relationship. And I talked to you through the songs of lyrics, or through the lyrics of songs. So they have sent, like, they've wanted to send you messages, but I feel like they're like rejecting themselves before you have the opportunity. They're defeating themselves before you have that opportunity. They need to believe in themselves. Just like I said, you need to be able to believe in this coming together. They're expecting bad. So they want to take that shot, but they're afraid of it. And I feel like it's just because of whatever's already been bad in their life. Like, there's standalone guidance, government, hierarchy, corporate. So, like, institutions is again, it's like that belief systems that have been passed down from others, like, or other, what do you call it? Like, other, like, religion, you know? Like, if somebody big was like a big religion or a big belief system, or their big family belief systems that they hold, like whatever their race is, or whatever their nationality is, or whatever their like money system is, like if they grew up and they don't have a lot of money and you grew up from a family that does have a lot of money, that can cause problems. So it's like challenge of the status quo, opportunity, new hope, perspective, clear vision, past, present, future. So I feel like they have something like that that's impacting them, that's causing them to feel like alone when it comes to you, or that feels like they're too different from you. And it's causing them to feel like they're deceitful, but I don't think it's that they're deceitful. It's just that they don't feel like they meet you at that status quo, or like there's something that you two are very different about. So they need the strength to start opening that new door, to multiply, for the sudden increase of either babies or just like allowing this to come in. But they need to liberate themselves from whatever it is that is causing them to stand alone in those beliefs of like, hey, we're wicked different. Like either you're from money or they're from money, or you are from one religion and they're from another religion. Something that's just not right. It's just not. It's something that's keeping them from communicating. It's keeping them on the other side of the bridge. They want to propose to you, but there's something big that's causing this person, whether it's somebody you already know or a new person, somebody has something to say to you, but they're allowing those circumstances to defeat them before they say anything. And I think intuitively you're going to know what that is. So if you want justice and balance, try to make it clear to them that that's not the issue, or that doesn't have to be an issue. They don't have to conceal themselves. They don't have to see this as something that's going to be a bad thing or cause conflicts. Like if they take that aim and come towards you, that it could be easy going, and that you guys can rise above. You have the ability to create something better. You have the magician ability, and the confidence to go through the death and rebirth. All right. Myra. Okay. May I ask about my twin? I have felt him really close lately. I noticed he unblocked me, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to talk to him again. Also, why is it taking so much time to find the right job? Okay. Hold on 1 second. My foot is bleeding through my sock, but whatever. Alright, so not sure if I'm ready to talk to him again. Also, why does it take us so much time to find the right job? Okay. Thank you. 9 months of harmonious living together, 23 years ago. Great advice. Wow, you're so intuitive advice. Thank you, Pauline. And, okay. Alright, let's see what's going on with the twin that has... I'm going to sit down. I'm going to go to the hospital this week. I'm just waiting for the right day, and then I'm going to go. Because I'm sick and tired of my fucking feet, both feet, bleeding and hurting, shaking, crying, death. So, let's see. Alright, so I'm kind of, so he unblocked you. You're not sure if you're ready to talk to him. I felt him really close lately, and then I noticed he unblocked me. So All right, let's just see what comes out for that. All right, birds, communicate, negotiate, chatter, debates, discuss, nervous, flighty, ADHD, text, call, contact, broom, don't need it, unwanted, unpleasant, repetitive, feels good when it's over, unavoidable cleanup. And then the sun, which is ego, purposeful, directed, child, reason over instinct, willingness, success, vitality. Okay, so the birds are about communicating. But then there's like the broom that's about like clearing out the shit that doesn't work. And then the sun is like our self realization, our pride, our ego, our instinct. So I feel like you may be like instinctively like nervous about communicating with him because you know that if you do, it may repeat what's already done. But all of the things that I just said in the last thing of like, hey, don't expect people to be the exact same because have you changed? Have you changed and grown? Have you healed? Have you evolved? If that's the case, this person could have done the same. Maybe they haven't. But we're not going to know out the gate until we talk to them, okay? And you're going to know pretty quickly, like, are they being elusive? Are they being cold? Are they being, like, hot and cold? Are they being the same old, same old? Because if they're being the same old in the communication style and they come in doing the same shit that they've already done, then we know that, like, those waterfall of emotions that, like, we may want to set free don't need to be set free because if we set those free and they're not necessarily who they pretending to be at this time, then that emperor and empress situation that we would love to have with them is not going to come to be. But if we allow our thoughts to be negative about them before they even show up, we are more apt to see that than what's really there. So the wheel of fortune, the fate, the karma, the cycles, the forces of destiny, the synchronicity, the luck of the draw is coming in. The emperor could be showing up, but there could also be miscommunication because you're afraid of what he's going to be doing or saying or of what he's already done. Unfortunately, we can't change what he's already done, but if you feel a magnetic longing to be with him, if you feel like there has been slow progress, like whatever, like obviously he blocked you for a reason, but I don't know all of the details of that. Like I know I've blocked my person in the past when I was pissed at them, and there's been other times that I've considered blocking them and just like ignoring them altogether and rising through those ashes, but then like they fucking do something and there's been times that like I was literally doing something and get a text while I'm fucking doing something and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like they fucking through the phone and know, or they feel it. And I feel like hopefully it's that they feel it and that and it's just that energetic thing of like they sense, okay, this bitch is fucking fed up with me. She's gonna block me and cut me off completely unless I do something. And so then they would do something, and it's those steps progressing forward, or it's like just longevity, making it last longer than it needed to. Like if it had been 2 minutes later, they would have been fucking gone. I would have never got that message. I wouldn't have even known. But things also develop over time. We develop over time. And if you are truly supposed to connect with somebody, when they communicate with you, that you'll get the message. Like if we weren't supposed to communicate at that time, then I would have gotten those 2 minutes faster and I wouldn't have had that experience with them. You know what I mean? So like we can make our wishes come true. Things can manifest for us. The communication doesn't always have to end badly, but I guarantee you if you expect it to, it's going to. Okay, so at some point we got to have that metamorphosis and realize like we're both agreeing into this partnership. We're both making our decisions. Like, are we giving mixed signs, or are we igniting and catalyzing something powerful and beautiful? Are we transforming? Are we healing? Are we growing? Are we on the wheel of destiny and fate? Do we have that telepathy? Are we in each other's network for a reason? Are we helping each other, or are we hurting each other? And if they keep hurting me, then eventually at some point I'm going to choose to fucking cut that ball and chain completely gone and say goodbye and find the right person that can give me this proposal, engagement, or the marriage and union that I would like to have. But there's obviously something that we're healing from our past lives. There's some sort of karma here. There's probably also some sort of unconditional love here, because people don't keep returning unless they feel some reason to return. Unfortunately, with men, it may just be passion. It doesn't have to be that they actually love you. But you'll know, like, you're going to know if there's actual love there or not. You're going to know what that deep commitment is, like who you are to them. Like, I know there's things within my situation that there's nobody else on the planet that's going to be able to be deliver that to that person in that way, because it's impossible. You can't give that person that experience when I'm the one that did. So nobody else is going to deliver that to them. But it doesn't mean that they're actually going to be able to, come deliver anything differently than they already have. At some point, we are the ones that make that decision. So the fact that you don't know that you want to hear from him tells me that he's probably deceived you and hurt you at some point, or he, was secretive or did something that wasn't good, or maybe just hurt you because he blocked you. But whatever it is, you still have that telepathy. You still can feel him. You still can sense him. I'm sure that you still want to reconcile with him. You just don't want to get hurt again. So what I would do is say, hey, motherfucker, like, if he shows up, let him come to you. Don't reach out to him. Let him come to you. And when he shows up, just be like, listen, I intuitively knew that you were coming. And if it fucking scares him away, it scares him away. Just be fucking truthful. Tell him the truth. Be like, I knew you were coming. But I also know how the thing has ended in the past, and I don't want to fucking deal with that again. Like, if you're just coming around with illusions and you're going to run away in 2 weeks, then go the fuck away and stay away. But if you're going to come in and not, like, intentionally cause pain, and you feel like you're healed enough to bring me a balanced, offer, or you're willing to give to this what I'm willing to give to this, then I'm willing to hear what you have to say, and I'm willing to, do that. And if you feel like you're owed an apology, get the apology. If you don't feel like you're owed an apology, that may be something that you want to look at, because you probably on some level do deserve it. Like, there's probably something that you're allowing that wasn't right? Like, he blocked you. Most people, when we have those things happen, it's like we have levels of self-respect. We have levels of what we put up with and what we don't put up with. If somebody makes us feel like, oh, you're just disposable, I can just block you, I can just ignore you, and then I can come back around whenever because you're just going to be there openly waiting. We don't want that, because then people can treat us that way. But if you want somebody that's romantically engaging and speaking their truth and delivering destiny and has awoken and has found in their strength, and they're not playing bullshit games, and they're not bringing conflict, competition, chaos, they've truly changed, then, you need to show that you've also changed, and that you are worthy, like, you believe that you're worthy of the love that you're worthy of, because you are worthy of it, regardless if you believe it or not. But if you don't believe it, you're not going to show them that, so they're not going to bring it to you, because you're not allowing for that when you don't believe that. So you've got to make that judgment call, and you've got to find that intuition inside of yourself to recognize, like, am I being the best version of myself? Am I demanding balance? Am I demanding a valuable new start? Or am I allowing things to just keep getting torn down and allowing more conflict and more chaos and more bullshit that I don't want to deal with, because it's them, because it's my twin flame, because it's, oh my God, like, who cares who the fuck it is? Whoever the fuck it is, that should be more of a reason that they treat us good. Like, if they're my twin flame, if they're my divine fucking whatever, then they should be treating me that way, and they should be delivering me that, and not making me feel sad, miserable, depressed, and so scared that they're gonna fucking run away again, or go deliver something to somebody else, or cause me conflict and chaos, because that's not what I deserve. And Spirit knows that, and I know that, and they know that, and you know that, and we all know that. But we can allow ourselves to not, live there when we don't feel that way about ourselves. So if you don't feel that way about yourself, or you feel like you may have a tendency to let people do things that they normally wouldn't, or that you wouldn't expect people to do, like, that just have compassion, kindness, care, then we got to look at what we're doing. And again, you got to make sure it's not all about sex. Like, if it's just about sex, don't give it to him. Tell him to go fuck himself. Like this says, imposing, powerful, independent, time alone. Attitude is everything. Be calm, cool, collected. Don't get all like, oh my God, he's back, and like start calling him every day or reaching out every day. Just let him let him show you how much he wants to invest in you. And if he doesn't invest in you enough, then like just be light and carefree and like, fuck you, I'm out of here, because this dude over here is willing to do all of the stuff that you're not. See it from a new perspective and realize that you have more power than you believe. Maybe some of it is childhood stuff that could be coming up, like if our parents didn't show us the best way to be in a relationship, like maybe your mom was always in abusive relationships, or so something like that went on around you, that can cause us to believe things or have subconscious beliefs about the way that love is and the way that people treat each other that we might need to work on. And that's the whole process of a twin flame journey anyway, is healing and coming into a place of like, hey, I'm not gonna like just accept shit from people just because I think maybe possibly they are the one, or they're this twin flame, or this divine whatever. Be that for yourself. And if you find yourself in stalemates with him, or he's blocked you and things like that, or if it's a recurring theme, be mindful of that, and you can forgive, because it's better for yourself to forgive and let that shit go. But don't repeat those same things. Whatever happened last time, don't do it again. If it was a booty call, don't show up to the booty call. Like make them step up, and if they don't step up, then they step off. So you've got to change the way that you believe that you belong, or the way that you believe that you deserve to be treated, if you find that you're not being treated the way that you should be, but yet you still let them return. Or even like finding yourself to be like, I don't know if I want to talk to them or not. Well, if that's the case, when the message shows up, see how you feel in that moment, but don't let that moment, or that, because what it is like, when it's a toxic situation, it becomes an addiction, and it becomes like dopamine, and your brain gets released because they reached out to you after they hurt you. And unfortunately, that's what happens in a lot of times with people who deal with like narcissists. And I find a lot of people end up like mistaking these things, or getting caught up in these things, because they've already been through it at some point in their life, or because their parents were, or whatever. You're the only one that can know, has this guy treated me poorly? And every time he comes around, it's like he gets me all excited, and there's all this fire and chemistry, but like at the end of it, I end up hurt and alone and sad and miserable, regretting that I fucking ever talked to them again. So if I find myself sitting here like, I don't know if I even want to talk to this guy, then maybe you should block him, and put yourself first. But again, that's up to you to decide. That's your intuition. Your subconscious knows those answers. So maybe look into the subconscious, like beliefs that you're holding on to. Look into the repetitive things that have already happened. See through the illusion of stuff, and just meet yourself there. And you're at the perfect opportunity right now, because you're on the fence. So don't let the fact that this guy's energies around you blind you, or let you go get anchored back into something that's not going to be beneficial for you, because you know where that leads. If you know who he is, and you know what he's going to do, and you know where this goes, don't let yourself go there again. But if you don't know, and you want to find out, and you want to see if it can be better, or can I put myself to that test, because again, you're going to know, am I at that place that can show up to this motherfucker and actually like treat myself the way I need to treat myself? If I'm not there, then I need to go work on that, and then have that metamorphosis, that transformation, so that when this guy does show up, I'm determined that I'm not going to let him repeat what he already did, so that I can have my wish come true, or I can tell him to go fuck himself, and I'm not the one that gets hurt this time. He's the one that's going to look stupid. You know what I mean? You got to turn the tables at some point and develop like the fine wine, who ages, in a way that's like, hey, I finally fucking figured this out. This is a stalemate that's going nowhere. So rather than entertain it, I'm going to treat myself with that maturity and that respect, to know that this is cursed before it ever picked up. This is the devil showing up once again to test me, or it's the next level of awakening that I need, but I can cut that shit out, or I can go research it closer. But I need to know where I stand before I do that. Am I going to get, hurt because I went too close? Or am I going to be the one that comes out feeling like that phoenix that was like, haha, I finally fucking overcame you, only you will know. And it's very hard, because usually the women care deeply, and the men are better at being dicks. Like they're better at not feeling like women do. But you have the ability to see both sides, and you have the ability to remain balanced through this, and you have the ability to rise through this and come out the other side in the best way for yourself. But you have to put yourself first and make a plan. This is your true north, your life path, seeking the truth. Make a plan and see through the bullshit. Don't let that dopamine that hits when you get the text from this guy that one time denied you or blocked you or whatever. Because obviously that hurt you. And the fact that he's coming back to communicate is going to be like, oh, maybe he believed, now he knows. All of a sudden he's going to see that I'm amazing and awesome, and he's going to treat me right. And he may pretend real well for a little bit, but then he might go back to leaving you like that stranded island alone. You're going to have to test the waters to see, is this going to break down to be a storm, or is this going to be a boundary, like a better situation that has a foundation that can be achieving and better, you know? And for the work, I feel like this is going to be the same situation for you. Like, things work against you, but persistence pays off. If you're determined and repetitive, you can make your dreams come true. You can make things balanced in your life, but you've got to believe that you're the empress. You've got to believe that you can have what you want. You've got to become determined and kind of elusive around the false ideas of like, oh, this is like, whatever you believe that's not true. Like, we usually have something in us that's like, I'm not worthy of love, or everything has to be hard. The only way I'm ever going to be abundant is if I, work myself to the fucking bone. Whatever it is, we don't have to believe those things. So you got to figure out, what are those things, those mountains, those obstacles, those boundaries, that shit that you're believing, probably from childhood, that is causing a lot of issues. There's storms brewing when you get out there into this world around you that you need to cut out, by what you think about, what you feel, who you allow to come in, who are you communicating with, who are you spending your time with. Do you believe that your wishes can come true, or do you believe that that's just far-fetched and that's like, some smoke dream that other people lie about? Like, do you find yourself getting condescending? Do you find yourself getting sarcastic rather than actually truly believing in yourself and your ability to be assertive and your ability to rise out of the bullshit and to clear the unwanted stuff, to clean that shit up, have a majestic, amazing lover, a majestic, amazing self, and a majestic, amazing career, and that your true north node, or your true north, your compass, is leading you where you're meant to be. It's like, what are you waiting for? The opportunity is always there. Create and inspire. You'll set your life on fire, and that's going to bring infinite abundance and opportunities for you to grow. When the warm winds blow, that's when you'll know. So the summer's on its way here. But they're like, move on. The time is now. There's no need to wait. Go out and date. Go have fun. Like, have you been waiting for this guy to come back that you're not sure if you want to talk to? Because if that's the case, then, maybe you should go out and explore other things and other opportunities. See through, your own facade. Because sometimes we fool ourselves. We're like, I don't know if I want to talk to this guy, even though I haven't talked to any other guy since this guy's been around, or I haven't even considered anybody else, or, you know what I mean? And like the same thing with jobs. Like, sometimes we can fool ourselves with that of like, oh yeah, I'm applied all my thing to this thing but maybe if that's the thing I don't really want to do, or if I know there's something else out there that I would rather be doing, then I may sabotage myself so that thing that I don't really want doesn't come to be. But it's just a matter of, getting to know ourselves, to look at ourselves like, where am I fearful? Where am I allowing my beliefs to keep me stuck? Where do I need to have the ending of the old and a new beginning? Where do I need to have the death process? Where is my subconscious fucking, messing me up? Because again, the subconscious is very big within all of this. It's like, it doesn't matter how consciously you are like, all right, tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to apply and I'm going to do this and I'm going to go talk to that guy and I'm going to do that thing, but if your subconscious is like, no, you're not, you won't. It won't matter. You may try, but your subconscious will be like, no, you're going to trip down these stairs and break your neck, so you can't talk to anybody, because we don't believe that you can really have that. That's how fucked up it is, and it will, destroy everything around you. So look into healing that about whatever it is that you've got going on, and just be aware of it, because we all have these things that have been conditioned to us from the fucking world around us since the day that we were born. Our parents did it to us unknowingly. Our society does it to us. Our friends, our family. It's like the little things that people say that they don't even recognize that they're saying. It's like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. And they don't mean it negatively, but it comes into us and it's negative to us because it's just how it is. It's like, oh, well, someday, blah, 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 blah. Well, someday ain't today. Like, hey, today you're worthy of love. Hey, today you're worthy of abundance. Hey, today you can have whatever you want. But if you're feeling cursed, or you're feeling like you can't, or you're feeling like whatever, then that's those fucking subconscious moon energy. Moon is subconscious, right here, subconscious. Like this will fuck you up every time. So you've got to heal that before anything usually will lighten up and elevate. And then we have those aha moments of like, oh my God, like I was believing I was a bad person because my dad, that I don't even know if this is true. My mom told me when I was a little kid, we're in the kitchen, I'm probably like 6 years old, she was telling me she was telling my stepdad that my dad gave me beer in a baby bottle. So I took on the belief in that day, for some reason, that I'm a bad person. And then it's cemented every time I ever had alcohol from then on. So I cleared that belief recently, and that really did shift a lot of things for me that I noticed were very blocked and now aren't. But there's other things up in there that I gotta go figure out. Where is this one from? Where is that one from? And it's easy enough to do, but our thoughts, our patterns, they will keep playing out over and over and over until we, decide, like, fuck that, I'm gonna go figure out what this shit is and I'm gonna heal it. So, our indecision, our things that we keep fucking up. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I should be past this, or I should have already moved away from that person, or I should have already, succeeded at this next level. Wherever we find ourselves having that, where I should already have that job, what is the belief that's telling you that you can't have that job or you're not ready for that job? And also relax and know that you have time. You don't need to have that job today, but you've got to find out what the belief is so that that job can come, that justice and that balance can come, and those opportunities can come, and the new belief systems can be made. But try not to look at it from an ego pursuit either, because sometimes that can mess us up. So just stay balanced within your mind. Know that you're not wasting time. But the longer that you stay out of alignment, that's the longer we're wasting our time. So that's when we don't know what those beliefs are. So go look into like free meditations all over the place of like how, like, let me figure out what is my limiting belief that I need to heal. Or find Jenny, who does the hypnosis stuff for that, to get rid of those beliefs or whatever block it is that you're holding on to. And do the work, because you will find your way through it when you do. I'm in surrender mode, but I feel disappointed. I don't know what else life wants from me. For the first time in my life, I'm worried about money and finding a job, and I hate that. Yes, don't go back to, I want to go back to when I was a kid. I have no worries at all. Okay, so that's where we need to go, back to when we were little kids, when we didn't have all these things conditioned into us, but that's usually where we picked up these things that came in, that make us think the things that we think that aren't in alignment with us. So, you definitely want to look up the beliefs, like, figure out what are the beliefs that I'm holding on to, because I guarantee you, like, now that you're worried about money, it's going to get harder. Like, and this is why it's so much levels and difficulty, because that's what it does. It's like, oh, now I'm stressed out about the money. And now, because I'm stressed out about the money, it's going to make me getting that job. Because when we're in a flow of allowing and abundance and all of that, all of those things just come to us easily and effortlessly. And when we're worried about a person, when we're like, when we've been rejected or we've been hurt by somebody that we were all magnetically drawn to and passionate with, and then they just ghost us or fucking block us and make us feel sad and rejected, that's going to slow things down, and that's going to mess up our abundance, and that's going to mess up everything in our life. So that's, again, why we got to decide, should I let this motherfucker back into my life? Can I afford it? Can I afford letting this person come back in and messing with my mojo and messing with my money and messing with my belief system and messing with my energy? And can I trust that they're going to come tell me the truth? Can I trust that they're going to give me a valuable new start? Or are they going to leave me worse off than they found me? And have I done the work on those beliefs enough to get to the place where I've cleared that shit up, that I can, meet them and be transformed enough to not let that be the case? So it's there's layers to all of this stuff. It sucks. I wish that there was like a magic button, or that I could, tell you otherwise, but the reality of it is, if you want to get better, you've got to shift whatever you're believing, but you've also got to be mindful of who you're allowing near you, who's going to impact those beliefs, because when somebody treats you that way, it makes you feel like you're inadequate. It makes you feel like you're not worthy of love, or you're not worthy of fucking basic communication and basic, human, like, decency of, hey, a blah, 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 rather than block, or whatever the fuck they do that makes you go, what did I do? Why do I deserve that? So it all goes hand in hand. But when you take your power back from that, and you don't allow that to integrate with your feeling about who you are and what you deserve and all of that, and again, it's unconscious a lot of times. We're not consciously out here thinking, oh, that guy has made me feel this way that has now impacted my career. We're not consciously thinking that, but a lot of times it's doing it. So when we do become conscious of it, we can do the work to unconsciously reprogram and fix that shit. And then over time, as we have the right people in our lives and the right experiences and the right moments with the right opportunities and the things that show us like, oh, this is how like people treat people with respect, and this is how people treat people with care and compassion and kindness, and oh, this is much better. It may not even feel that way though if we've been used to toxic, karmic, narcissistic abuse. A lot of times people who go through abuse get addicted to the roller coaster. There's chemicals in the brain that get released from the ups and downs, the hot and cold, the back and forth. It's like you just want to be recognized, even though the person who's recognizing you isn't anybody that you should give a shit about being recognized by. It's just that something in your brain has made you feel inadequate, and a lot of it is our ancient brain. It's not like the conscious like person that's been studying and learning and growing and evolving. It's the part of us that we're not even aware of that's like subtly sabotaging us. It's causing us to do things like procrastinate or put this off or not take that opportunity, not answer that message, not go on that date with that new guy or whatever it is. But the subconscious is the best place I can recommend for you to go work on. And again, the moon is right here. That's the unknown stuff that we don't realize. So if you've been doing everything right consciously, and you've been making all the right moves to manifest, but there's still nothing happening, it's usually back in the unconscious that's causing the big problems. So hopefully that will help to overcome that. So I think, did I get everybody? Did I do? Hello, welcome. I think I did. Okay. Pauline, Jenny, okay, yeah, I think I got everybody. So, I'm at the bottom here. I'm going to be on again tomorrow night for the Divine Essentials channel for doing the moon ritual, which is all about releasing this shit and all this karmic toxic stuff, like getting very logical, releasing what we don't need anymore so that we can bring in what we do. And then Thursday night I go live on the Divine Essentials channel for the membership readings, which is on that channel it's $2.99 a month. So I will be back then, but I've been exhausted. Like I said, my foot's bleeding through my sock. I gotta go to bed so that I can get up tomorrow and do this. And then I think Saturday I'm going to the hospital to see what they say about my foot or feet, because it's both of them. They take turns on the bleeding thing. But yeah, thank you for coming, and I will see you guys maybe tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's free to be there and hang out and talk and all of that. So that's on the other Divine Essentials channel. But in Munay Namaste. Oh, it's over there. I'm like, why won't it end? Okay.